Good evening from the Claremore Expo Center. Brendan Dzwierzynski here with you for our Washburn Ichabods instant reaction show. The Washburn men and women split with Rogers State today. The men in overtime hang on to win 80-74 over Rogers, now 10-4 at MIAA play this year. Meanwhile, the women fall 65-54 against the Rogers State women. So those two teams also now split their season series. The Washburn men have swept Rogers State for the season. Let's start with our second game of the day. An absolutely fantastic basketball game. Rogers State actually dominated for a lot of the game. Never completely pulled away from Washburn, but they did lead by double digits in a couple of different times in the game, including in the second half at 59-49, just barely keeping Washburn at arm's length, but a great run from there. 9 consecutive points for Washburn, got the ball rolling, got Washburn to surge ahead late in the game. In fact, it looked like Washburn was going to be able to put things away with just about a minute 10 to go, going up by 6 points at that time. That was the biggest lead Washburn had all game. However, from that point on, near disaster for the Ichabods, nearly giving away the game at the very end. 6 straight points by Rogers State to end it. They were down 69-63, a late 2, and then another near buzzer beater tied the game at 69. That sent us to OT, but Washburn was sensational in the extra period. 11-5 advantage in that extra session. Sam Ungashik came up huge. He finished with 18 points in the game, including 4 for 4 at the free throw line in the extra 5 minutes. Sam had only scored 8 total points in the previous 2 games. He goes for 18 today, 6 of 6 at the line, 5 of 10 from the floor. So some clutch performances down the stretch. But we've got to start with Andrew Orr, the junior post from Overland Park. He was stellar in this contest. 21 points. That's back-to-back 21-point games for AO. Now 5 20-point games for him on the season. Also goes for a double-double. He has 10 rebounds in the contest, second most of anyone for this Washburn team. He was excellent. 9 of 14 from the floor. Had a couple of steals and nifty assist as well. He was Mr. Do Everything for the Ichabods. Not only that, but the big man also played more minutes than anyone else for Washburn in this contest, and he only played 35 seconds less than the number 1 player on the floor for Rogers State. That was Isaac Johnson, who played for 40 minutes. Just a phenomenal game for AO today. We mentioned Ungashik with his 18 points, a couple other shout-outs, 2 other double-figure scores for Washburn. Jack Batchelor got to 13, another 12 from Braden Shorter. All of Braden's points came in the second half or in overtime, including an awesome and one, getting knocked down to the ground, somehow just flipping the ball in with both hands. He was stellar coming out of the break. Also, want to give a shout out, and we talked about him with Brett Ballard during our post-game interview just a little bit ago on Country 106.9. Zaid Dejani comes into this game. He plays just under 10 minutes, hasn't played a ton for a lot of the season, averaging just over 6 points, but he plays nearly 10 minutes today, scores a bucket, played really solid defense, a couple of rebounds as well. So some unexpected contributors in this game making a big difference for Washburn. By the way, Brady Christensen, we call him the closer, all the big plays he makes late in games. Didn't score in the first half, scores 6 after halftime, also goes for 11 rebounds, which was a game high. He came up clutch in this one. By the way, the rebounding advantage, something you've come to expect from these Washburn teams, plus 15 on the glass and plus 9 in offensive rebounds over Rogers State today. So the Washburn men improved to 14-6 overall, and they are now 10-4 in the MIAA. That is 14 years in a row that Washburn has now gone for double-digit conference wins. An unbelievable stretch, the longest stretch of anyone in the conference. Yes, even longer than Northwest Missouri State. As for our women's game today, the Rogers State women had just too much for Washburn to handle. It never completely felt like the Ichabods were out of this game, but just not enough offensive firepower, and a costly injury at the end of the second quarter really did the Ichabods in this one. Washburn loses 65-54. Aubrey Dewey has a big day, plays 38-plus minutes, goes for 19 points in the contest. So not quite the 20 that she had scored in 5 of her previous 6 games, but she still goes for a team-high 19 points. But the biggest storyline of the day and the biggest concern long-term for this Washburn team, the health of sophomore post Bari Widada, who is having a great game. She was 4 of 5 from the floor for 8 points, 6 rebounds, with just over a minute to go in the first half. But a hard foul led to her tripping over her left ankle, rolled it, ended up having to ice it for the rest of the game, and even had a boot on her left foot before leaving today from Claremore. So hopefully she is going to be okay. Laura Westling told us when we interviewed her post-game that she is day-to-day for now. Hopefully it is nothing more severe than that, but it's an ankle that has given her trouble already. So best wishes to Bari as she recovers from that. But that's going to mean a bunch of opportunities for Rebecca Snyder and Liz Boyd to step up and play some big minutes for Washburn in the post in these coming days, including a doubleheader coming up on Saturday against Northeastern State. Our broadcast on Country 106.9 will begin at 1:15 on Saturday afternoon, and then we'll go live with Game 1, the women's game between Northeastern and your Washburn Ichabods, starting at 1:30, again, on your home for Washburn Sports, Country 106.9. But until then, when we talk to you on Saturday, I'm Brendan Dzwierzynski saying so long from Claremore. Again, your final scores: the Washburn men 80-74 in overtime beat Rogers State, while the Washburn women come up short 65-54 against the Rogers State women. We'll talk to you Saturday from Tahlequah. Until then, thank you for listening.